It is probably no surprise that with all of this reading, research, and talk about fairy tales, that now you will have the opportunity to write your own fairy tale. Before you get started, we want to make sure that this fairy tale is the best, most exciting, creative, and imaginative as possible. And we're going to go through and use the tools that we've been practicing, like plot maps, graphic organizers, Padlet, and arms, of course, of arms, arms and cups, of course, to help us out. But don't worry, you will have help. We are going to start off this process, like most of our writing pieces, with a brainstorm. What is a brainstorm? It is a spontaneous group discussion to produce ideas and ways of solving problems. Now, since we are currently not at school, and it's very difficult for us to have a discussion, we are going to use our fun new tool, Padlet, to create a brainstorm for our fairy tales. Last week, many of you contributed to the Fairy Tale Features Padlet. This is the one where you were able to draw on your own experience and the stories that you know and put it into one Padlet with all of the columns, including characters, setting, rising action, climax, and resolutions. This week we're going to do something similar, but with some of your brand new original ideas for a fairy tale. When I say original, I mean coming right from your brain and your imagination. One thing I need to say is this: a brainstorm is a free-for-all of ideas. What that means is whatever you post on your brainstorm is meant to be shared. These are ideas you don't mind giving up. People are going to be able to borrow, add on to, and change the ideas that you post and make those ideas your own. I want you to consider this though. People only borrow good ideas. So if your idea is borrowed, don't get upset, don't get mad, don't say someone copied off you, but it means that you had a good idea. And you should feel good about that. Your job is to go through the following Padlet and add your ideas to each category. The fun thing about a brainstorm is that no idea is too wacky or silly, and there's no wrong answers. With that said, please remember to keep your ideas and what you post classroom appropriate. Thank you. So here we are on the fairy tale brainstorm. As you see, it looks a lot like the features of a fairy tale Padlet. This one's going to be a little different though, because you guys are creating original ideas to put into each column. And one thing I really like about this, that you guys are going to be able to see and build off each other's ideas. Okay, so I'm gonna start us off. I'm going to put a couple of these in each column here. When you go into mine or your teacher's Padlet, it might look a little different, but go ahead and feel free to add along to this. Okay, so characters. Who are the protagonists and the antagonists? That is the good guy and the bad guy. Okay, in your fairy tale. Keep in mind. Are they royalty? Are they talking animals? Mythical creatures? Humans? Let's see. I'm going to put the protagonist, that's the good guy, as a centaur. Spell that wrong. Centaur. Okay, that's half man, half horse. Sound like fun? I'm already excited about this, okay? Antagonist. Let's make that the evil king. An evil king. All right. So again, those are just two of my ideas. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to use that because this is, again, a brainstorm. Not sure. Okay, let's go over to setting. Where does the fairy tale take place? Once upon a time in, I like an enchanted forest. Enchanted forest. That's one. Maybe an ancient kingdom. Maybe outer space. Conflict. Rising action. Okay, what conflict happens between characters? What events happen during the rising action? All right, let's talk about conflict. Someone is losing their home. Maybe a possession was stolen. What's wrong with my spelling today? Okay, that's two ideas. Climax. What's the most exciting and important event in your fairy tale? Gasp. Let's say the centaur marries the king's daughter. That would make for an interesting story. Or maybe the centaur battles the king. Let's do that. I like that better. The centaur battles the evil king. Okay. Resolution. What is the ending or final event in your fairy tale? Does everyone live happily ever after? Let's see. The centaur marries the king's daughter. And the king becomes a servant to the centaur. All right. The last one. Okay, the last one is our theme. What will be the theme of your fairy tale? We talked about themes and main ideas. That would be a good place to look for more themes. But the theme I'm going to work with here, I said the main conflict was the centaur. Something was stolen from the centaur, and the centaur lost his home. So my theme is going to be what goes around comes around. In other words, the king stole from the centaur, and at the end, the king lost everything. So that would be the theme of my fairy tale. Again, this is a brainstorm. This is just one small example of settings, characters, conflicts, climax, resolutions, and themes that you can do. Okay? Do you have to do these? Absolutely not. Okay? We want to see what kind of ideas that you guys come up with on your own. Now that you know where the Padlet is, I'd like you to take some time, go ahead, press pause on this recording. I'd like you to go onto the Padlet and start to add a couple of your creative ideas. Go ahead, press pause. Do it. Do it now. Press it. I'll wait. Done? Fantastic. All right. The reason for working on the Padlet Brainstorm is to help you gather ideas for your own fairy tale. What you're going to do next, now that you've gathered some ideas, is to start to craft your story using a plot map graphic organizer. We talked about plot maps in a previous video. Now you are going to use that plot map as a tool to create a great story. it's time to outline your story with the introduction and exposition, where you tell us about your main character and setting, the main conflict in your story, the rising action where you add events and details and add to the problem to make that story more exciting, and the climax, that most exciting part of the story. And then, how is that problem solved with the resolution? We want to see your rough ideas on this graphic organizer. Keep in mind, the harder you work on adding details on this assignment, the easier of drafting your actual writing piece will be. Here is your next assignment. This is the fairy tale graphic organizer. In this is going to be a tool to help you with your writing piece. As we said in the plot map video, the beginning starts over here. Your job will be to fill out this graphic organizer. At the top, we have your title, author, that's you. And if we start down at the bottom here, we're going to start with the characters and the setting. Who are your characters? Okay, where is this story taking place? Next, we have the conflict. What is the major problem in your story? As we go along, there is the rising action. What details and characters are being added to your story to make it more exciting, more engaging? Okay, and how is it adding to the problem? This point right here, this should be your most exciting part of your story, the climax, the final good versus evil part of your story. And finally, the resolution. Okay, how does it all work out at the end? We would also like you to add the theme of your story. What lesson are we learning from your story? Okay. If you're having a really hard time, again, you have the Brainstorm Padlet to look back on for ideas for your story. If you're still having trouble with that, look below this graphic organizer. We've got some fun ways to help you with your story. If you have a number cube at home, you can use this mixed up fairy tale writing prompt. This might help you. You still need to fill in your graphic organizer, but you can use this material. Okay, it works like this. You roll a number cube. Okay, if you get a 1, your main character is Goldilocks. If you get a 2, it's Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk. Okay, on your second roll, you've got your antagonist. Okay, your bad guy, or maybe your good guy. Next is your setting. And fourth roll would be your conflict. Okay, you don't have to use a number cube. If you just want to choose from this list, that's fine too. One other thing that might help you, if you keep scrolling down, we've got some features of a fairy tale. Okay, these things might help with filling in your graphic organizer above. Okay, again, the objective is for you to use these tools to help you create the best possible story. And we really look forward to reading. Next week, we'll be working on drafting your writing piece and going over the rubric for grading. For those of you who really want to get started creating your story, we will be looking for at least one paragraph for each section of your plot map graphic organizer. Can you write more than that? Of course you can. Can you add dialogue and magic and detailed description of your characters and settings and events? I sure hope so. We are really looking forward to your fun, funny, dramatic, thoughtful, and imaginative stories. As always, if you're having trouble, bring your specific questions to one of our daily Zoom meetings or send us an email. Thank you, fourth graders. We really hope you have fun crafting these stories, and we really look forward to reading all of your very fun and entertaining fairy tales. Have fun, okay, guys?